Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Alrighty. So, we are back with the Code Chronicles. We are back. For those of you who are returning to the Code Chronicles, welcome back. Happy to have you. For those of you new, welcome. Happy to have you. So, what we're building is a project management system. Think of like a Jira, Kanban type thing, just with a little more project orientation to it, less about just teams and tasks. This is going to be a little bit more. So, just to give an overview of where the application's at, a lot of stuff is broken. Again, we have some re-architecting of pulling, what's it called, project data. So instead of having, originally how we built the application was around the tasks to say, okay, hey, let's fetch some tasks, right, on our Kanban page. I think we're still broken. Maybe it's working. Okay, looks like we're working right now for some of these tasks. Here's kind of all of our data. We have our users table, all of our compound keys or composite keys, I guess technically what these are, but our task status, our projects are now introduced to this, but the projects themselves, they each individually contain tasks. So kind of what I've been building lately is this header thing right here. You can ignore the title text right here. I can pop this down. This is just showing which project's being selected with the ID. We can select company A's project. We can select Chester's new project. Or my blockchain project, right? And these are all projects that in theory I should be able to build. So if I want to add a new project here, I can say add new project. We're loading. Let's see if we're working. Oh, I don't know if it just posted one or what. No, we're good. Okay, so this will be new project, or I'll say live YouTube project. Let's go ahead and submit that, see if we built it. We did, and it should join this list now. So live YouTube project. And then when we select these, I want to see the tasks. I want to see, like, we'll have, this page will be like projects page. So we'll manage all the projects. We'll see like how many tasks are completed, bird's eye view, all the stats of it, all that stuff. But here, for instance, when I click Chester's new project, I need all the tasks to change to Chester's new project. If I click my blockchain project, I want to see the blockchain project's task. And likewise, if we go to the dashboard page where it sees all of our project completion and all this stuff, and again, a lot of the stuff is broken right now. But if you go back 2 or 3 episodes, you should see some of this stuff working. I want to see this stuff according to the project that I'm selected. So I could say Chester's new project, live YouTube project, whatever it is, right? And that's what we worked on last night and yesterday. And then I went to the next ATX meetup. So fun. I really enjoy those guys. Eddie and Jay, they are great team, great duo. And I don't know if they're associated with the Vercel team or not. They might be because they've mentioned it. They have these like Vercel sponsored looking shirts. So would be curious to talk to them about it. But point being, back to today. And the meetup is just cool. I love meeting people, and you meet so many different walks of life and what people are working on and all this stuff. And people are always surprised when I tell them, yeah, I worked at a capillary collection startup. They're like, what? Every time when I meet someone, at least in the software space, they're like, that is so, maybe it's just how awesome software people are. But yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun. But so the thing that I've been working on is fetching projects. Let's go ahead and console log some of this material. So we have our projects data here in the project store. Let me actually just pop this over here so we're full screen here. I'll zoom in for you guys. That's really hard for me to code like this, but I'll do it for y'all. Let's do response.data. And I'm going to fetch some projects. Let's see what they're coming up with. They should have the task associated with the project. So here's the array of 4 projects that we have. The YouTube one, the blockchain one, my blockchain project, and it comes in as this packet of data now. So what we're doing in the database is we're combining the project ID. So here's the name of it and the project ID. We're fetching the project user. So we're using this and associating the users to the project. And we're also doing the tasks user or user tasks. And we're associating the task and users to the project. So we use both these compound keys. And we're pulling the users associated to this project and the tasks associated to this project. So if we look into the JSON object or the object that's being delivered to us, we could see now we're including tasks true and users true. So we have tasks right here. Boom, task priority. I guess we could probably even do more where we want to say tasks status probably and include that as well. I see that we don't have that. So I wonder if we can do something like this, include task status or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We're shooting from the hip right here, folks. Oh, we can. Okay. So we'll say true. Boom. Task true. Maybe that'll include the tasks with the task status, which is what we want. And then we also want the assigned users inevitably. So let's take a look at this object. So we have our project packet, all the data. The idea is I built the system originally around tasks, around users, around task statuses. But now, especially after having a conversation with Chester, really talented backend engineer, he's saying, no, take the whole thing. Take the whole project. Here you go. Here's everything with it. Here's the project, ID of the project, name of the project, the users associated it, boom, the task associated. Take all of that and then plug it into your application. Don't do, am I the right tasks for this project? Don't do, am I the right users for this project? Do, here's all the people and tasks that are allowed for this project. Boom, there you go. There's all the data. So let's pop open the tasks. Okay, we see the task statuses now, so that's perfect. That's awesome. I think we could do assigned users also. What else do we have here? Project. See what project it's associated. Well, it's associated with this project, so we really don't even need to do that one. And then users. Let's see what else we could do. Nope, we just have a skip and a take and next key. So I'll need to chat with him about those as well, getting the next token. But so now we're getting delivered this object of 4 projects, right? And we really don't even need, we can have different endpoints too, where I'm not fetching all this data, because especially when we have tasks, it could end up being a lot of tasks. Like think of a team with like 10,000 tasks or something, or 1,000 tasks. It could be a lot, right? So there's probably opportunity to streamline the data, like maybe do piece together where it's just fetching the first 50 tasks and then you pass in some next tokens or something for the task specific things. So we might still use those endpoints, but the rough idea is just go get all the data associated with this project and then just pop it out on the project. So every time, and guys, I know we're not doing a lot of coding right now. This is more architectural concept talk, and it'll make sense in a sec because you see these 2 things up here, ZooStand and Redux. We're going to decide on a state management library here. I'm leaning towards ZooStand. But the idea is we want to just pass in these projects as a whole, persist all the data so it's already delivered on the front end or on the client, and then we have it. Then hopefully our application is pretty snappy outside of the server side components. So I guess there's 2 approaches. We could either fetch tasks all the time, update them with put requests and things like that. I'm not sure. But for like a dashboard thing, this is exactly how I'd want it. I would definitely just want all the projects already here. So then when I click this, I want to see all the stats around it, all the stuff. I don't want to have to fetch stuff from this thing, that thing, da-da-da-da-da. I want all the components to kind of have that, I guess, is how I'm thinking of it right now. Well, but that isn't how we built it. So I'm kind of still mentally going through the battle of it, because all these components do self-contain themselves, which I've really enjoyed, right? Where these components themselves are associated to, they handle themselves. All these columns handle themselves. All these task cards, they handle themselves whenever they pop up. Loading, 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 boom, okay, boom. They handle themselves, at least data-wise. So, and these all did, obviously they're broken right now because they're not associated to any project, but we'll fix those in a moment. But I think this approach is just like a really easy bulk brute force way of just like, here's the data, there you go, do whatever you need with it. But what I don't want to do is like, if I need to update the tasks, I don't want to fetch the whole thing again, all 4 projects, or if I have 10 projects with 10,000 tasks in total. I don't want to fetch that if I'm just going to update one task, for instance. So, so that's kind of part of my thought. Let me think on that for a bit. I'll probably need to have another conversation with Chester on that, to be honest, on how to do that. I bet some good patch requests though, and put requests would probably handle it pretty well. We get a lot of these console logs here. Let's get rid of that. We'll leave that one there. Let's get that out of the task store. Okay, project ID. Let's just pass in this project ID, hard-coded in to get this project's tasks, which I believe is the blockchain project ID. So we'll just hard-code that one in for right now. Or boom. Do that, okay. But the thing I want to do at this point is decide state, because if we're going to just deliver all this stuff on the client outside of the Kanban page, I think everything else would make more sense to do it this way, where we just deliver the packet of data. Because and even the Kanban page, if we could just do patch requests, meaning I just like go to the task part, just update that bit, that'll work a lot better. And searching for tasks, we can add that functionality really quick because we would already have the task associated with this project, I believe. But we do have to re-architect the whole thing because all these projects are yeah. So it is a mental battle right now, but I do want to, at least at the very least today, get installed with ZooStand. It's another state management library. For those unfamiliar with it, many people are familiar with Redux and the React ecosystem. It's very popular. But Redux and Redux Toolkit specifically, Redux Toolkit's a lot better than Redux. Redux is deprecated at this point. A lot of companies don't use it. A lot of even Redux themselves, they use Redux Toolkit. But we are going to opt into a state management library called ZooStand. And ZooStand is, it's a different state management library. It's similar to Redux, but it's a lot more lightweight. So if you have a really, really, really large project, I would still opt for Redux, but something a little bit smaller like this, it's like medium-sized, like smaller, medium-sized, we'll say ZStore for now. Is it TSX? Boom. But just for smaller state and technically handling a data packet would be a smaller state thing, and just small things is a lot better because using these functional components as state or as stores is good. I guess really what they are is just compiling where our endpoints are, but for persisting state, it's a lot more tough when let's say we like navigate the application. So if I go to our Taskify real quick, which we're going to rename by the way too, because it does need to be a proper application that we're going to be putting out there. But if I go to Chester's project, for instance, and then navigate to another page, let's see, we're having some bugs or something. Let's It's getting really slow. But if I navigate, you can see it refetches, and I've tried a few things to persist that state. So we're just going to go ahead and pop in a state management system, and we're going to do it the proper way instead of these functional component stores. Even though they're amazing, I don't want to. Let's see, functional bear counter. Let's see, boom, boom, boom. I don't want to have issues around persisting states. I just want it to work. So let's see. Is this gonna work? Can we just export functions here? State. Maybe we're gonna have a type error. Yep. Really, is it a number or an object, right? Where increase bear, we'll just leave it at any for right now. I guess it's type void or potentially. Will that work? No? Okay. Type void, and then what is this type? Technically a setter, partial. If it's this, okay. Let's see, no. We'll just go with any for right now and see if this works. So bear counter, let's see, return bears here. I'll go to base top nav. Let's import it from our Z store. Let's see if we're working, right? Import, how do I do this? Import bear counter is what it is. From Z store, let's put it on our, above our project selector. So at the very, very top. Let's see if this works. Bear counter. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Zero around here. Okay. And then what was the other one to count? Looks like it is working. So we have controls. Let's pop this in. I'm just seeing how this works real quick. ZooStand I've actually never used, but I'm liking it so far. I've used Redux before, and this was not. You cannot get going this quick in Redux. So I am liking it very much so far. I think this is really cool. Go one up, boom. Okay, perfect. And then if we go to somewhere else, is it going to re-render? Nope. It persists the state. So that's the one thing the functional component stores won't do. If we need to persist state, we would have to do like local storage or store state in the params of like your URL. You could do stuff like that. Eddie was actually talking about it last night at the Next ATX meetup. That guy he's smart too. Like watching him code. Whew, whew. That man is proper. So this is how our Z store can work. And I think what we can do instead of like increase population, I think we can do maybe we can go to project store real quick, and let me go to the Z store, pull up, let me close out some stuff too, so we're not bogging the computer down too much. Can you make, we'll go to our trusty intern ChatGPT. Let's see, folks, rubbing some sticks together right now. Can you make a ZooStand store, boom, for my projects store, for my projects? How about this? Boom. Here's what I've had. I want it here, boom. Let's see what we get. ZooStan doesn't rely on useState and React hooks, so that's good to know. So it's obviously going to handle data fetching and mounting different, just slightly, or maybe they have different commands to it or something. So we have store state. It looks like it's building kind of a type for the state that we're going to be collecting. I'll pop it in here in a sec, guys. Let's see. I really can show ChatGPT. I just remember early on I didn't want to show for specific reasons, but okay. So we have a bunch of Git projects. It still does local storage stuff, which is awesome. It's persisting the local storage that I was messing with. Was trying to keep these projects in local storage, at least the selected project. But maybe we won't have to do that. Let's see. This is what it's generated for us. Project name, project ID. This, oh, no, don't want that. We want that, boom. Okay. So use project store. I guess we can export it instead. So base top nav, we're obviously not going to have these anymore. We're going to have use project store instead. And I believe we can actually do stuff with those. We get out of our project store. Get out of projects even. Let's go to our Z store. Let's see what we want. We want the Git projects. We definitely want that. And looks like we have Git project by project name and Git project by project ID. But we really don't need that. We just need project ID. We're never going to use the project name because reason being you might have two named projects. Oh, it did not like that at all. Oh, it was post project. Forgive me, guys, not Git project. Didn't see why I thought that. Okay, so I believe we could just pop this into a use effect now and say, it's like base top nav. Actually, you know what? Let's not even put it in the top nav. Let's put it in the selector. So we'll go into our project selector, which is going to be that thing at the top of the screen where we can see my blockchain. This is our project selector. So let's pop it in here. And you know what? We can probably show the projects, I think. Yep, looks like we can say use project.projects here. So we can probably do this. Project store.projects still. Or you know what? We might need to instantiate this as well. Like how most of the time, say p store equals this. Oop, boom. Use project store. I'm getting an error from the Z store. Not sure why. Not sure why we're getting so many problems. Obviously, these are also related to our broken, what's it called? Broken endpoints. We are exporting this though. Export default project uses store or project store. So why is it not liking this? Import use project store. Did you mean import use project store from stores instead? Oh, okay. That's all we meant. Okay. Thought we configured for that. I suppose not. Then where is this error? Invalid hook called. Hooks can only be called inside the body of a functional component. Okay. Where is the... Oh, I wonder if we're calling it here. Yep, we are. I see. Okay, so all of these will just pop to our HTTP / local host for right now, 3000. Let's get these fixed and get our project store up and running. So it still didn't like that. Oh, because we're still calling stuff somewhere, I think. So let's get rid of this. Boom, boom, boom. I think we're back up. Okay. Software is fun to work on, I'll tell you what, but when it's laggy, I don't like that. I don't like that, right? So boom, project store. Let me pop a use effect in real quick. A use effect right here. And we'll go boom. P store, let's get some projects. Let's see how this Zeus stand thing works, right? Boom, and we're there. There's our projects. That is cool. That is really cool. So maybe I can even get the project, I believe, right? If we do pstore get project, we need to get the project ID though, I believe. So how did we do that? We get the first project from here, right? We're going to copy this down. We want project store. So that this can be a little convoluted, but basically we want the project or P store projects first project. And we could take, we'll say Z store first project. I know we have a lot of duplication and we will be deprecating a lot of this stuff. And this will get popped in here and we can actually say the project ID and we can put this anywhere. So the project ID we can actually pop on here. We could say that'll get us the project ID. We can also say this will get us the project ID if we want it there. Or you can instantiate the function like we've done and you have access to all of these things, whatever is part of the project. Project ID, project name, project description, that's our project object. But we'll just get the project ID. So we should be getting the project now, pstore project, there it is. You can see how many re-renders we get, just a ridiculous amount. So yeah, we'll need to hopefully do all of this inside of ZooStand because I don't want to, I don't want to have all these components dealing with the state and the re-renderings and all that stuff. I think it's just not it. Just not it. I would rather have the store just handle it all for us, you know what I mean? So let's see, project, get project, and then let's put this in our handle select as well, where it's project store. Instead of get project here, we'll do it for our Z stand store, our P store. Really our Z store is what it should be, but P store for project store, Z store for Zoo stand store, but we'll slowly convert the stores over, or we'll just have kind of the one state for any needed persistent state. Maybe we can just use the Z store for, because I do like having the endpoints for everything else still. If we're going to do patch requests and other things, who knows? It looks like it works pretty good. So if I choose company A, and this was the problem I couldn't figure out earlier, boom, I should still see company A at the top of the project. I don't want to refetch the blockchain project. Now, I think it's doing that because we're defaulting to the first store on load, I think. So let's see, saved project, selected project. Yeah, right here we're defaulting, right? So maybe if we say if no pstore dot project, do this. because we want it to persist, the data. We can ignore all the CSS stuff, the template, the dropdown. The dropdown is going to change. It's going to default back to my blockchain project because it's first project right here. Which we don't want to do. So we could also... you know what we could do is actually default this one first. So pstore, put that here. If there's a pstore project name, keep that one first. So it's going to go in this order. Selected project will be the first thing that shows. So whenever I show this, that's the selected project. It's going to take priority over everything. The second thing that'll show now is on load. If we have a project already loaded, show the project name still. So it still should show Chester's new project, which it does. Perfect. But if there is no project name, meaning like it's the very first time we've logged into the application, go to the first project and find the project name. And if there's none of those, show the loading. So it shows loading on first render. Loading, 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 boom. I think that handles it all, folks. So boom, my blockchain project. So this is us. We just logged in. We get the very first project. And then after I choose a project, let's say company A, I want to see this project. I should see only company A's project stuff. And if I go to a different tab, a different material, I still should see company A's stuff. And that's what we've successfully done with the zstand store. At least we've started it, right? So if I go to the projects route, this will, again, we see just projects here. So it doesn't make sense to see the company A's project or blockchain project. There's no differentiator. But on this projects page, we'll have like project completion stuff. We'll have kind of dashboardy things, just more on the project oriented side. The dashboard is kind of like more on just at a glance, where I think this will be like more who's associated with this project, who else is on this, how many tasks are on this project. More bird's eye view kind of stuff, where this is like still bird's eye view, but like you're in the project, you need bird's eye view of the details. This is like bird's eye view of the project. So bird's eye view of like team accomplishments and what the team's doing and completion maybe, and then bird's eye view of like the whole deal. So, but it's beautiful that this is persisting. That's awesome. So if we go to our live YouTube project, boom, we should only be seeing that one. We should only see that one on this page as well. And I think what we could almost do with the base columns too is revamp them, because we now have all of the data with the project. So the P store, when we do project, I believe we still have, at least if we pass in project ID, tasks by project, nope, projects, we can include tasks, right? So let's see, find the project. I think we have access to all of the project data still, right? So an object, users, tasks. So there's just no task with the YouTube project. But if we go to like my blockchain project, there should be a couple tasks with that. So project ID, my blockchain project, we have the task associated with it. So a quick check we can do. Like just pretend this is prettied up in CSS, but it won't be. Right now it's gonna break real quick. Hold on, give it a sec. We could say project. We should be able to see tasks, right? How come we can't see project? Oh, I see project undefined, or let's put any. Really, it should have task and all that stuff too, but I don't want to pull those types in real quick. I just want to say any, and it still should show us now tasks, right? Tasks. And if we map, we can say task. Let's see, task, and boom, we're getting some serious lag. And that's a task name, I believe. Boom, and there's a task associated to this project right below it. It's all ugly right now, but the data is there, most important. So this could be like one of our task cards that we've built out, right? It's a background secondary, right? P4 rounded 2XL. Boom, there's our tasks, right? We're getting an error here because we don't have the key. And I could say task.task ID for the key, I believe is our, let's just pull in these types then. So we're going to need task status. That's going to be part of this. Task, let's see, task is going to have that. It's going to have task statuses. Project. Okay. It's actually going to be an object with all this stuff, but so let's not do that then. Let's just go back to any. Sorry guys. I don't want to deal with all of the type errors right now because they're just type errors. It's not data handling errors. It's just data molding errors, if you will. Making sure the data is consistent, right, in a really hard-coded way. But here we should be able to see the projects that we're selecting, and we should see the task associated with it. So we're getting some errors. Let's just do one of these. Should fix something, right? Boom. So we have our task cards. We should actually, based on the selector now, we should, right now we're not defaulting to the first project. The loader is, but we're not actually fetching it. So boom, now we fetched it after we click. We should see those tasks, and then I should see different tasks. That's awesome. That's a big win, guys, because now we just need to do that for the whole project. And I guess the other thing we can kind of do is maybe just see the users associated with this one. So let's maybe pop that in. So we'll say users, pop that in and change that as user, and we can say user dot username maybe, or what do we have? User first name. Oh, that's user ID. Forgive me. This is where we do want our types, right? Let's see if we go to user first name, right? First name might break it because I think it's first capital N name. It is, yep. So again, and maybe this isn't base background, whatever. We could do base background red -500 just to see. Again, it's going to look ugly, but like we just care about getting the data right. So boom, we have our users associated to this project. The ones that are assigned to that project, we don't have any users on this project, no users on this project. Perfect. So this is all the data we need, right? Associated to this is like, here's our 3 users. Maybe we can even see their IDs potentially. That's awesome. This is great. Yeah. So it looks like it's actually the same user, just assigned 3 different times. So we'll need to fix that bug. But most importantly, we have all the data, I think, for all of our template, for all of our stuff. So big episode. This is huge, guys, because this is like biggest thing. We could see which company that we're working with. We could see the task associated to this project. And then boom, we can also see the users associated with the project. So this is huge. This is pretty big. So I'm absolutely amped on it because I did not know how I was going to interact all these things together. And it looks like we've on a, obviously the CSS of it isn't there, but we'll plug that in a sec. That's not a huge deal. But getting all that data interacting proper was by far my most intimidating step. This last tidbit, right, was figuring out all of this stuff. And it looks like we have done such. So let's update our arrows. We'll say this one is black. Oh, and Eddie taught me something last night too, where we might be able to deprecate our entire users table because Clerk can actually handle all of it. So that's huge. We are going to continue building this though. We have our boom that goes to our server. So I'll leave this green thing to see if we want to do that or not. But this is huge that we've now linked all these things together. I guess the other thing we want to consider is teams, but I don't know. This kind of accounts for it. This kind of is your team, if you will. The users that get assigned to the project, that is your team. So let me take a beat. We've made a lot of progress today, so I'll wrap it up here. I think that's an amazing spot to park it for today's episode. But I do need to I guess figure out the team thing. But really that is just multiple users. So if anything, if users is configured, like it's just user, and then this is just users, right? Because if it's all batched together now, all of this comes together and gets delivered to the project. Boom, bada bing, folks. You know what I mean? Like that is the team, is it not? So I guess the one thing we might want to establish with it is like the hierarchy of the team, right? So who can view whose profiles, who can view whose tasks. But really, I don't know. I think everybody should be able to view everybody's task. I think only there should be one leader, or maybe there could be a multitude of leaders, but or like admin type roles, or more like project owner type roles, and they should be able to make project edits. So maybe we'll make this link happen somehow where certain users have different, but I don't think that's a big, I think we just store permissions in the user table, and we just use those permissions on the project saying, hey, you can edit this. But fundamentally, we did build this out, which is amazing. So we'll leave this little guy here for right now and kind of give me a moment to sit on it. But huge day. I'm really proud of this. I'm freaking pumped on this. This is huge. That's working. And ZooStand was just, we didn't even have to think about integrating it at all. That was amazing. I will definitely be using ZooStand because it's so simple. Didn't have to do all the boilerplate stuff. Didn't have to do very much. So yeah, I'm pumped on that, where we could see, boom, all of our stuff, all of our projects. Here's the project. Here's our tasks, our users, and obviously all these things have more data associated with them. Tasks have more than just task name. They have, all of our task priority, task status, all that stuff, task description, all of that. So let's see, company A, task A, boom, task, what else do we have? Task ID, we could see that, boom. So you could see all of our important data right there. I am absolutely gassed on this, folks. Let me just put this to be user first name. Let's get that configured. First name, I believe. Does it not have a first name? Maybe it doesn't. Okay, we'll just leave it on ID then for right now. But that is amazing, folks. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm like really pumped because this is like data issues handled, kind of like all the big correlations, how all this stuff is going to be integrating together. We still have to actually configure some of the correlations on how to like edit users or delete tasks from this standpoint. We obviously figured it out down here, but like from this, when they're all related to each other, how do we update these packets of data without having to refetch 5 projects of information? Because this is a lot smaller, right? With just me working on it, right? But imagine like 800 tickets with like 10 users. And let's say 3 users of that project. So one of these guys updates one of their 800 tickets. I shouldn't have to refetch 800 tickets. And then if another user does it, I shouldn't have to refetch another 800. Like that's just bad to do. So that might be kind of on the back burner, something I could do behind the scenes. But I'm so happy just to see this, where we can go from my blockchain project and then navigate to other places and see that it's still my blockchain project, right? And if I go to company A's project, I should see that data, and then I can still go to this thing and still see that data persist. So that's amazing. That's just perfect to see. I'm like internally, fireworks are going off in my head. So thank you so much for watching, guys. If you made it this far, I'm pumped. Golly, that's pretty cool. So guys, cheers. Thank you so much again for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to the next episode. Take care.